Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. Sorry we took so long. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us, and let us know that you're watching. Let us know where you're watching from. Want to make sure that everyone's tuned in. We've got a fair few people watching already. Let's have a look here. All right, we've got over 100 people watching. So yeah, let us know if you can hear us, and make sure. We want to make sure this stream's working all right for you guys before we get stuck into things. All right, cool. Plenty of thumbs up coming. All right, so as you can see, this live stream is a little bit different to the previous couple that we've done. Unfortunately, before we didn't really quite have the setup, and I wasn't really happy with the way it was set up, and I wanted it to be a lot more professional. So I was taking a little bit of time. Since we did our first video in August, I think it was, of last year before we went to the States, and that one was really successful for us, and I had a lot of fun doing that one. So we did another one in September. Again, not the quality that I wanted it to be, so hopefully these videos are a lot better, and hopefully we can do them more often. As you can see, I've got a green screen behind me, got a proper setup, and I'm going to have some overlays for things to talk about. So I can see a lot of the comments, I can see a lot of the thumbs up. Let us know if there's any problems, but yeah, really want to get stuck into things. Firstly, the first thing I wanted to mention was we've now got over 9,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and hopefully they go up tonight after this one. Make sure you share the video around to hopefully we can get a few more people watching Sprint Car Hub, because I love making content for you guys, and also we have a really, really busy season coming up, or month really. And we'll go through our calendar as well. So there's a few different subjects that we want to talk about. But yeah, the first thing I wanted to talk about was to say thank you for subscribing. If you want to comment or join the chat later on, I'll get you to ask some questions, and we can talk about some things. But what was really important is if you subscribe, then you get to comment. So if you're not subscribed, then you won't be able to join the chat. So I think some people will probably be thinking it's going to be on Facebook, which it's not. So if you want, share the link on Facebook and make sure people are watching here on YouTube, so we can really try and grow sprint car racing and grow the following, so we can talk about this stuff with a lot more people around. So all right, so yeah, some of the subjects I wanted to talk about. Firstly, I want to talk about the Sydney track troubles that we've had. Unfortunately, we didn't get any racing this weekend. Pretty crap, to be honest. Not the promoter's fault, but we'll get into that. We've had actually really good weather. I was in Sydney today, and we had really good weather, and it was unfortunate that we couldn't race at least tonight on a Sunday night before a lot of people go back to work, but that's the way it goes. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about our January calendar. I have a lot of you guys asking, when are we going to be at the racetrack? What races are we going to? What are we doing? So I've got an overlay for that we can talk about. We've got some new merchandise, which I'm really excited about. The kids shirt actually has green on it, so I'll have to turn off the green screen to show you guys some of that. And obviously these new shirts too. You guys have been really supportive with the merchandise over on sprintcarhub.com, and it's been really successful for us. So I'm really excited to get more of that stuff for you guys made and sold, and we're gonna probably, I think we'll get close to probably selling out come classic time, when we're there for the Fan Appreciation Day, when we've got some other merchandise as well. So if you haven't yet, make sure to jump over on sprintcarhub.com and grab some merchandise. It's probably the only way you can really support us, other than watching the videos and watching the ads. That's kind of how we make it all work, and make sure we can travel to the races and make these videos. Our last video with the Bohard racing team at Eastern Creek Speedway the week before Christmas, that's got, I think, over 58,000 views right now. So there's definitely people out there watching, and that really helps a lot to have lots of views. But also on top of that, the big help is to have you guys wearing the merchandise as well. We're getting hats like these made. I got beanies coming, bucket hats, which I'm really excited about. Hopefully we have them for the classic. Some drink bottles, all different types of things coming up. But these are our new shirts, and we've got some other stuff too. So if you haven't already, last time we did one of these, we had people buying merchandise while we were actually doing this. So it went off quite well. So we'll try and do some of that stuff throughout the video. Next up, we also have the TV and streaming for sprint car racing. I wrote a pretty opinionated post about that. We've got an overlay that you guys can check out. and I wanted to go through that, and if you guys had any questions. Not sure if we'll have questions at the end or if we'll just do questions after each topic, but we'll sort that stuff out. Helmet impact indicator mess, that's what I've got it titled as. It's a bit of a debacle. There's a lot of news around that, and I think you'll find that I'll probably make a video or two about that in the coming weeks. One guy who's spoken out about it is Cam Waters. I know a few people within the industry that have a lot of information, and I'm looking forward to hopefully bringing you guys a lot of that stuff. If not in this video, then there will be more about it, because that's a really interesting topic and something that is majorly important. We all would have heard about the drag racer who passed away last night at Willowbank, so we all know safety is always critical and is majorly important over everything, and I think it's a really important topic. Safety isn't really the most exciting topic, but it's definitely hugely important, especially when guys can get hurt. So also wanted to talk about the Warrnambool track troubles ahead of the Classic. I was pretty opinionated on our socials about that as well, and I really feel like that is something that we need to talk about. I think people probably took what I wrote the wrong way, as much as I try to not be biased. Maybe you guys, some of you probably think I'm maybe a little bit biased, but I try and really not be too opinionated. I think you would have seen that with even the TV and streaming posts, that not that I was critical of pay-per-view, but it's probably not a great thing for them what I said, but I mean, they understand what I say, and I hope you guys too can understand that I'm trying to really call things down the line and create content for you guys at the same time without shutting up and kind of talking about it elsewhere, but not here with you guys. So it's really important that I relay what the teams and drivers and promoters, sponsors, officials, all those people are actually thinking, rather than trying to dumb it down for you guys. But Classic format changes, that kind of has been not really put out there, but that's something that I saw recently, and I wanted to talk about that. The Classic format has been the same, well, probably ever since they went to the 3-night format, the split qualifying nights. But I think it's really cool to talk about the Classic. I don't quite understand it, but we'll go over that. And then the last topic I had was Archerfield closing in Brisbane, which is, you might just think, hey, it's just a speedway closing. There's plenty of other speedways, but I think that's a really interesting topic to go over, and I got a few notes on why that actually is important if you don't really realize why one speedway closing is quite a big deal, and especially Archerfield for where it is. So we'll go into a bit of that now. So I'll just go into our first overlay. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. So I'm down in the corner now. I overlaid this video that we made that we made back in, I think it was about June last year, with John Kelly, the co-promoter at Eastern Creek Speedway. Now, if you don't know about the Sydney track troubles, then watch that video. I watched it today again, and I kind of relearnt a lot of what's going on. So check out that video. That's actually our most popular video. It's got 67,000 views. And he goes over pretty much everything. And I really feel like the reason why we had no racing this weekend, when we only had about, I think it was 32 mils over the 4 days leading up to the Friday and Saturday shows here at Eastern Creek, here in Sydney. The reason why, like, that's not a lot of rain. So the reason why it's been cancelled, as they said, they've had a lot of, the problem is water sitting in turns 3 and 4, and especially at the top of the track. Now, that's not normal. And like I said, I'm not just trying to make you watch that video, but he really goes into detail with all of that in that video. So I think that's a similar sort of situation. That'll tell you everything that you need to know about the track troubles. And I mean, with so little amount of rain that we've had, I really feel like, I've raced at Parramatta, or, mostly, but plenty of other tracks, and they would know, John would know probably better than anyone here in Australia, how to get a track in and get it happening, and to have such minimal amount of rain and not go racing. I saw a couple of posts, maybe from, I think there was one from Luke Dillon's racing page. I mean, those guys have travelled from South Australia to be here in Sydney to race. That's not a short drive. That's got to be around 15 hours. And to not go racing just because of 32 mils of rain over 2 nights, especially when today was so hot. Today in Sydney was a really, really hot day. So yeah, there's major troubles at the speedway, and that's kind of what I wanted to go into a little bit here. I don't really see this being fixed quickly at all. And when you actually lay out what the troubles are from this track and the design and the build of this speedway, again, I don't want me to be critical of the promoters at all. I'm actually very supportive of them. Scott Anderson has been great to me, and I've obviously had to deal with the Kellys as well. And I really feel like they've been the guinea pigs in this situation where they've taken on the track, wanting to make it work, put a lot of work in, and I mean, a lot of us have been pretty critical of them and what's happened there. And I don't agree 100% with what they've done at the track, but at the same time, a lot of their troubles, like this entire weekend, this debacle, whatever you want to call it, this not going ahead is absolutely 100% can't be their fault. I know I've been to Brisbane when John makes it work when it's raining on the night, and for them to have such minimal amounts of rain and this be a problem now is it's kind of pretty much, it's just upsetting really more than anything. So what I wanted to say was lighting at the speedway isn't great. The seats are too close. There's no power in the pits. You can keep going on. The competitors and fan entrances are the same entrances, so you've got to stagger when fans and teams can come in. Honestly, I think the current promoters have really been, like I said, the guinea pigs of finding out all these problems, and then everyone's critical that we don't go racing this weekend. I think it's quite obvious, and if you watch that video, you'll see that they're dealing with the same troubles that were there 7 months ago. I didn't think there was a lot of work done during the off season. I didn't hear about it, and I thought, keeping my ear close to the ground, I thought I would have heard about major works being done to. That's a major problem, having water sitting at the top of the track. The other thing that I know is that there's a massive, I think is it a 1 million litre water tank, something stupid on the infield below the ground, and that's not getting full either. So to have water sitting there on the racetrack and not going into the tank, that's a major issue. So that's not the promoter's fault. You can't blame the promoter for that sort of stuff. I will say I do keep hearing rumors about them going to walk away, possibly even this week, and there's no 100% truth to any of that, but it is something that I hear people talking about all the time. A lot of people within the industry are saying the same thing, and I'm just putting it out there that honestly, as sad as it would be for Speedway or Speedway racing in general here in Sydney, that I just think that's the best option, because they can't keep working with this racetrack and trying to make it work when there's I hate to say it, but there's just so much wrong with it, and the design and the build and just what we've got. It's really upsetting as a massive Speedway fan. I want it to be a huge success, and I genuinely feel sorry for the promoters. It doesn't make them look good, and that's what I'm trying to say here is I don't really think it's a lot to do with them, but I just really think it's probably a 3-step process when you actually break all this down. You can actually think about, okay, they'll probably, or I see what will happen is they'll leave. That'll all break up. The government needs to realize that the track isn't good. It's not. It's not the world's worst thing, but it needs to be a hell of a lot better. And I think then you've got, okay, well, the government's stuck with this racetrack that they've spent around $100 million on, and now they need to fix it and spend more money on it when it was meant to be a $40 million racetrack to start with. If they're going to fix all those problems with, the lighting looks very Band-Aid sort of fix. The lighting's not good. The seats, honestly, they're so close. I really feel like a lot of speedways that I've seen is the walkway is between the fencing and the fans, so that you can walk around the racetrack, and the fans are not getting covered in crap by sitting in their seats. So that's something that I really feel that, I just, what I'm getting at is I really think it's a big job what they've got to do. Again, no power in the pits. This is a $100 million speedway, and we've got to run generators out of our trailers to have power. The entrances, having trailers, like huge semi-trailers, even B-doubles if guys still have them, sitting in the fan parking zone and having them in early, going to the speedway, getting there at 1 o'clock and having to get there before the fans is ridiculous for $100 million speedway. There's country racetracks that don't have these issues, and I dare say that if it didn't have the issue of the water drainage right now, they'd probably be pushing on and be stuck with a track that's is still not 100% right for what it should be. If this was a country track and maybe didn't have the drainage issues, you'd probably accept it. But I really feel like, again, it's a 3-step process. They've got to separate with the track. That's the promoters. The government needs to realize that they need to fix the place and probably spend millions more and dig up a heap of it and make it right. And then after all that, I don't know who takes on this racetrack. So what I'm getting at is it could take a year or two until we have racing again in Sydney, if this is the way things play out. And again, I really feel like that's probably the best way to go about it. I really feel like that's what needs to happen, because I don't feel like the promoters should, I'm sure they agree, they shouldn't be stuck with what's going on and the problems that they've had out of their control. And then after that, okay, who takes on this racetrack? There's not people sitting around waiting to get their hands on this racetrack, and the current terms of the lease and things like that, where they stand with their current lease is a little bit cloudy as well. From what I understand, is it's not fully theirs, so I wouldn't be surprised. Again, if they, like everyone's saying, everyone within the industry that I've spoken to and that I'm hearing about is saying that, don't be surprised if it all falls apart pretty soon. So that's what I wanted to say about that. We can maybe talk at the end. I can see a lot of comments and questions on the chat. And I think, it's something that we can just talk about later, because otherwise I end up talking too long about a certain subject. So we'll move on really quickly. I wanted to talk about our January calendar. A lot of you guys are asking what racetracks are we going to, where are we making videos, all that sort of stuff. So the tracks that we are going to, we're planning on going to the 2 Eastern Creek races this weekend. We're going to miss Archerfield this weekend. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out for us. Same as Lismore. I spoke to those promoters there, and they wanted us to be there. And unfortunately, we can't make it to Lismore, especially being a midweek show. But what I am really excited about is to get and we'll be making content about those races, of course, as well. But I'm really excited to go to Toowoomba. As always, we've been there, I think it's 4 times this season now. To be back up in Queensland. It's the racetrack that I think is the best racing in Australia, and even when they don't get the track right, it's still good racing, and I've told them that, and I really feel like I said, it's the best racing in Australia. So I'm really excited to go to Toowoomba for their biggest event that I think they've ever had. The drivers that they've got going there, Sheldon Hordenchild, Justin Sanders, who's a gasser from the other side of the country, from Sheldon in California. He's a gasser, Justin Sanders. Aaron Reitzel, if he can get over here. Brooke Tatnall's back, all those sort of guys. I really feel like, as we go through January, they're just bigger and bigger shows. So I really feel like the Red Hot Summer Shootout at Toowoomba is going to be a big show. It's $20,000 to win on the Saturday night, and hopefully the weather plays nice as opposed to what we've had this week, I guess. And I'm genuinely excited to be part of that. We'll be making videos on that. We'll be part of the pay-per-view coverage. So we go to Toowoomba, I think that's the 20th and 21st. We come home on the Sunday. The Monday, we've got a chance to pack everything. We're actually driving down, me and Matt, who does a lot of the videography for me. We'll be driving down we're actually driving to South Australia. We're actually going to miss Avalon. We went there last season for the President's Cup. We decided we're going to bypass that this year. It's just our choice, and we're actually going to South Australia. We're making a video there at a racetrack that we can't say too much on just yet, but really excited to make that video. And we'll either have that out before Mount Gambier, or we'll have that out within a week or two afterwards, depending on how we go for time. But we're going to be we'll be there at Mount Gambier for the King's Challenge on the next night. Just having a look at the dates that I've gotten written down here. That's on the 26th. That's actually Australia Day this year. Usually the Classic has Australia Day, but it's at Mount Gambier. The day of Australia Day will be at Mount Gambier. So we'll do that. And then obviously we're just talking about January here. So then we end up going to the 3 nights of the Classic as well. We're going to be doing a lot of content for that sort of stuff. Of course, our nightly videos and hopefully some more sort of stuff. We can, I really just want to give it a good red hot crack about, just making as much content for you guys as possible. Which kind of leads us on to, at the Classic, we'll have a lot of our merchandise. Now, I wanted to show you some of our stuff. Here's one of our new shirts on the Classic, which is the Fan Appreciation Day, which is on this Saturday, which will be the 28th. We'll have, I'm hoping to have our big tent there. We'll have a big 6x3 meter tent. It's not actually, the fan day this year is, I think they call it the showgrounds or something like that. It's not at the track and it's not at the Flying Horse anymore. So we're hoping to have a big tent set up there. We'll have all our merchandise there. That's the only time of the year that you can buy our merchandise. So at the track, that is. So everything else, if you want merchandise right now and if you want it before we sell out, go to sprinkerhub.com. It's there on the graphic. But if you want these shirts, if you want to wait and get it at the racetrack, hopefully we've still got some left. These are our new blue Evolution shirts. We've got them in black and blue, black shirt and a blue print. We just had them restocked as well on the website. A lot of people are asking about the black and blue shirts, and then we're hoping to have a lot of hats and stuff, like I said earlier in the stream. But the other thing we have too is our kid shirts, which I love these. These are my nephews, RJ and Ollie, wearing these shirts. I'm pretty stoked how they turned out. I've been working on these for a long time to try and make them right. I actually had the colors kind of going, horizontal. They were round, and then my brother, who's a sign writer, helped me design and improve the shirts. It looks like the lights. The green obviously is going forward. The yellow is spun, and then red's upside down. So something that's been really popular. I was hoping they'd be popular, and they've been selling like crazy already. And we'll have whatever we have left on. We'll be taking down to the Classic and for the Fan Appreciation Day on the Saturday to sell. So hopefully got some of them left over. I'll just show you too. While we're here, here's the blue shirt that I'm wearing. This is the small, and then it's also got the custom. They're super stretchy and super soft, and we've also got the custom printing there on the tag. So the sizing. So yeah, that's the blue shirt, and then we've also got. I'm gonna have to turn off the green screen here for a second. Where is it? No filter, there we go. I feel like they don't have proper kid sizes most of the time, so it was something that I wanted to fix up. So I feel like I just got some comments there that the sound's too low, so let's just make sure that is the sound alright? Alright, cool. Alright, I think I know what happened there. We just had a bit of a problem there, so alright, sounds all good. I know what I did. First time obviously doing using this streaming software, so hopefully you guys are enjoying it. There we go. A lot of comments saying it's all fixed up, but yeah, they're the kid shirts. They're the adult shirts. Again, if you want, make sure you jump on and grab some while they're.
So the
All right, so on to the next thing that I want to talk about was the TV and streaming. Now, I wrote a post here. Hopefully that sound's not too loud for you guys either. Let us know if it's
as well. Good start for these guys.
It's too loud,
and a few drivers, Matt,
shave
who
next time.
potentially need to get a bit of a move on so far.
All right, so here's a video that was sent to me by Dean Neal, who produces the Night Thunder footage over in WA. I'm not sure if any of you guys have watched the racing from over in WA, but it's actually they call it rapid replay, which is delayed one day.
And this is a grueling week coming up now too, with 4 rounds in 7 days here.
Night Thunder in WA. Honestly, it is perfect coverage of sprint car racing. I love it, and that's why I wrote this post the other night. Saying this is what sprint car racing should look like. And I don't just write that to be opinionated, but I write that because I talk to a lot of people within the industry who all know what's going on and how to do this sort of stuff. And Dean Neal, who's worked with the AFL, I think NRL, cricket, A-League, W-League, AFLW, anything, you name it, he's worked with supercars. There's people, he's just one example of, is just one example. I'm just going to turn that sound down a bit for you guys. So he's just one example of the people in the industry that can bring sprint car racing to TV. And he, as he's told me, it's easier to do sprint car racing live on TV than doing what this coverage is and being tape delayed. And I feel like in some of the comments, you know, people started bagging out pay-per-view and coverage of, you know, I really feel like the idea of the post wasn't about bagging out pay-per-view at all, or any of the streaming services, because at the end of the day, I feel like we're all used to watching streaming. There's a cool donut from Dan King Shop. That's the way to do it. But yeah, I really feel like we still need streaming, and we're always going to need streaming as far as the foreseeable future. But to grow our sport, we need TV. And the idea is that, you know, people were concerned that people who are already going to the racetracks are no longer going to go to the racetrack because it's on TV live. But it's so counterintuitive of the way we need to think. The way we need to be thinking is, okay, that's fine if some people don't go to the racetrack because they watch it on TV, but now we're exposing it. We got more eyeballs watching racing because we're on TV. As I said in that post just there, they're big sports because they are on TV, not the other way around. They're not. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not the way it works. And sprint car racing doesn't have any of that. Cricket is huge right now. You can't avoid it. If you turn on your TV, cricket's everywhere. You know, NRL, AFL, all those sports are huge supercars because they're on TV. And to have the connections that we have within our sport, the major players in our sport, whether it's the team owners or people within, you know, people say Speedway Australia, Sprint Cars Australia, SCCA, we need to be on TV. And obviously there's a lot to work out, but at the end of the day, it grows our audience, but we need to be working towards that. And it doesn't mean that there's no pay-per-view, doesn't mean there's no streaming, you know, there's no need to go bagging any of that stuff out, because we're still going to always need that stuff. And it is quality. It is decent for what you're getting. You know, if it's not on TV and has sponsors and all that sort of stuff, then you're going to have to pay $30 to watch it, because this stuff isn't cheap. They probably could charge it a lot more. And like someone's just commented, pay-per-view is good and has been good. And I know from working with Jared Ash at pay-per-view, those guys are hell-bent on bringing you guys way better standards of streaming than what you've experienced. So what I'm getting at is that maybe even for a pilot series of the National Sprint Car Series would be, what, 6 races maybe for the pilot series. You're still going to have over 100 sprint car races a year on pay-per-view, and then you've got all the other classes like some junior sedans at, I don't know, Gympie or something. Like there's all these nights of racing that pay-per-view can still cover. But to grow the sport, and pay-per-view will benefit from it too, is having the sport on TV. And this coverage that you can see here, I mean, it can happen. It's the people are there. Look at these guys, Chad Nailon, Matt Nolte. There's so many people within our industry that love Speedway and want it to happen. But our sport, like I said in the post, needs to come together and build a reason, a way to be on TV. Make it happen. Obviously, it costs money. There's a lot lot of organising. What happens when there's a rain out? What happens when there's track work? We can't have too many support classes. How does the National Series afford to travel around the nation, I guess, again? So, yeah, there's probably enough on that subject, but it was something that I really, again, we can have some questions later, but it was something I'm super passionate about. I just want to see sprint car racing thrive, and it's only going to thrive if we make a difference, make a change, move in the right direction. So that was pretty much that. All right, so the next subject, this one, again, like I said, the intro is going to be a big deal, and I'm going to have a lot more information on this stuff pretty soon, is these helmet impact indicators. Now, I haven't put an overlay on there, but around the time we did the video with John Kelly, I think it was July last year, we did a video with the National Executive Secretary of Sprint Car Control Council of Australia, which is Mark Richards. Now, he spoke a lot about these Tezuda impact indicators that have to be stuck to drivers' helmets now. They did a trial, from what he said, last year. I think it was either 6 months or so of having these helmet impact indicators that were on drivers' helmets towards the end of last season. I saw them at least. And now they're mandatory for all drivers to wear them. Now, what made this a big topic again was Cam Waters speaking out. Obviously, for the people who don't know, I've put in a little graphic there, but Cam Waters is a supercars driver. He also races sprint cars, and he's doing a great job, by the way, right now. You know, the way he's driving, I watched Warrnambool the other night on the second, and man, like his qualifying time, I think was maybe a 10th off Veal and one other driver, I forget who it was. He was quicker than McFadden. What I'm getting at is at the end of the day, it was just one lap, but he gets on the gas and he's doing a great job. But and I'm really impressed with that for someone who with very, very limited experience. We did a video with him in Darwin, and I was like, man, this guy has done hardly any sprint car racing. And as we've spoken about before, sprint car racing is completely different to any form of motorsport. And I know Cam's got experience racing in Speedway too. So, but aside from that, getting off track a little bit, but is these Tezuda impact indicators that are now mandatory. Now, what's come out is it looks like even manufacturers of the helmets, and Cam uses a Bell helmet, are saying your helmet warranty is void if you put these on your helmet. And I've rewatched the video I did with Mark Richards. It goes for over an hour, but obviously we touch on this subject for a little bit. And one thing that I asked him was, are they approved by FIA or SFI? Or is it just, who's approving of this device? You can't just attach anything to your helmet. That's where your head is. There's a reason why we're wearing a helmet. And as Cam says in his post, like there's got good intentions by Sprint Cars Australia. I think he says something like that. And he's all for the idea of improving safety. But at the end of the day, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but, a lot of drivers are all for improving safety, of course, but doing it in a way that you're compromising another area of safety, you're not really winning out in the end. So good intentions, but I think I'm going to have a lot more information on that stuff very soon. So if we don't answer any of the questions later on, definitely have I'm going to have some information on that within the next week or so, because it's something that I want to get to the bottom of. And to be perfectly honest, from what I've heard and what I know, I would be surprised if drivers have to run these anymore. So let's move on from that. All right, so what's the next subject? Okay, Warrnambool track troubles. Okay, I've got a major reaction out of this post. I was really surprised with how this one came along, and watching the racing the other night, I thought they, to be honest, would be on top of things by now after last season having troubles with the track, but obviously, it goes to show you how difficult it is to prepare a racetrack. And again, I was really surprised of how much reaction I got out of this the other night. I think we've got over 900 likes or reactions, whatever you want to call it, just on Facebook alone. And basically, I said that I genuinely worry about the track surface for the Classic. And the reason I say that is because that's genuine. Like I said, I really feel like the track has this really weird part to it where they've just reworked the track. They've put all the water back into the track. They've dug it up. You think it's all going to be good, and we go heat racing. And between the first heat and I don't know, a handful of heats later, it is completely gone and it's rubber down. I've never, like I said in the post, I've never seen a racetrack ever do something like that in my life. And I think and again, people took this out of context with what I wrote, and I'm not even really trying to defend myself. I'm just trying to explain what I meant if it didn't explain it enough in the post. But these guys, the people working the track at Warrnambool, have got a lot on their plate. It's really, really difficult for them. I wasn't saying it's easy and they should do a better job. What I was saying was these guys are properly struggling with this place because this clay is not reacting anything like anything that we've ever seen before. So, yes, the Classic's 50 grand to win, but it's, one guy might make money out of the Classic, and that's probably a different sort of subject anyway. But at the end of the day, we can't go spending more money on tyres. I was told the other day, maybe I can get the prices up, but yeah, like it's not cheap to do this sort of stuff. And here is it. All right, tyres alone are stupidly expensive right now, and that's no being critical of the tyre suppliers. They've got to charge what they've got to charge. But a right rear tyre is almost $530, a left rear tyre $500, and steers, I think this was each, is $409. So that's over $1,400. Sorry, $1,800 for a set of tyres. Might have the steers wrong there, but from what that says, it's $1,800 for a set of tyres. And then when I'm told that drivers are burning them off, the rears in qualifying alone at Warrnambool, and then you've got a full set of tyres, another $1,800. That we're at $2,800 just for qualifying in the heats, and then you've got, at the Classic, the format is a second round of heats, and they have changed the format, which we'll get into later. But you've got, that's $2,800 before the feature, plus another $1,800. So just ridiculous amount of money that we're spending on tyres to have a problem. I think that's Coozies, by the way. And again, I'm not trying to be specific of who they're using, but a majority of teams use Coozies tyres. But that's a major expense that we don't need to go spending for tyres. And that's why I wrote what I wrote, is just to bring it to light. And I've spoken to the track promoter or the manager now for the club down there, Michael Parry, who's been great to me, to kind of relay that information to teams. He understands, hey, he's got to take the good with the bad. To relay that information to the fans, is what I do. So I really appreciate him being understanding of what I was talking about. And I really feel like, hey, I want the Classic to be successful. I want it to all go well, and I hope it does. And I'm sure it's still going to be a great event, and that's what I said in the post, is it's still a great event either way. But at the end of the day, if the track's not right, that can really damage, the reputation of not only the track, but the event, and I guess Australian sprint car racing. We've got some of the biggest drivers coming to Australia. Brad Sweet, the 4-time and defending World of Outlaws champion. You've got 5 of the top 10 World of Outlaw drivers, and a handful more, Aaron Reitzel, Sanders, all that sort of stuff. I think Sanders is racing at the Classic, and more. And obviously Australia's best. It's not just about American drivers, but that's something is a major concern, I think, for sprint car racing going forward. Is we need Warrnambool to be successful, to have the sport be successful. So this is all right. So that's our second last topic. The other one, really, I didn't put this one in. Oh man! All right. So the other one was the Classic format changes. Here we go. There we go. I fixed it up. All right. So the Classic format changes. Now I'm gonna probably have to try and explain this on the fly, but basically, the way I understand it is they've gotten rid of the heats from the final night of the Classic. So I'm not sure how many people have actually seen this by now, but they've gotten rid of the heats for the final night of the Classic, and we're now going with a scrambles, bronze, silver, and gold scrambles for the Classic. So as you know, I think everyone got a heat race on the last night of the Classic, and I think it was reverse grid, something like that. Maybe an invert of 8 or 10 or something like that, but maybe someone can correct me. But now, and I guess this is a move to improve the the racing and for it to, I guess the track for it to not go away was to have less laps on the track. So I like that they've changed the format. If you've ever been to the Classic or watched it, then you really just get heated out. Like you're so over heat racing after the first 2 nights of 2 rounds of heat each night. I really feel like, if there's anything that anyone was critical about the racing at the Classic, it was way too many heats. So the final night, again, 3rd night on the racetrack. Again, we know Warrnambool, it's windy, it's hot. There's over 100 cars. There's already over 100 cars entered. I mean, there's the best field, in years that they've had. And now they've taken away the heat, so less laps on the track. Imagine 100 cars all doing 10-lap heat each. Now you've got a 6-lap bronze scramble. You've got an 8-lap silver scramble and a 10-lap gold scramble. Now I'm going to quickly explain it. If you guys can't read that on the screen, this is from the Warrnambool's website. It's their document that they that teams would read to know what the deal is, and says pretty much everything you want to know about the event. But basically, I'm struggling to read that. But basically, I think it's 4th to 6th on points from the first 2 nights. So that's 4th to 6th. That's 6 cars. 4th to 6th on points from the first 2 nights are in the bronze scramble. They race for 6 laps, and the top 2 cars will go into the silver scramble, and then that's when they tag the back of the one on points 1 to 3 from both nights, the qualifying nights. I think it's the first night is inside row, second night is outside row. Whether that's fair or not, I don't know, but that's the way it works. But you've got those. That's how those top 6 line up. Then you got the 2 from the that finish in the top 2 from the bronze scramble, and then they race for 8 laps, and then the top 2 of those cars go into the gold scramble. Now, again, I can't read that really well right now, but the way I understand the gold scramble was it is the top 3 finishes from night 1 and night 2. So not on points, the top 3 finishes from night 1 and night 2 are automatically in the gold scramble, and then you've got the 2 cars from that finish first and second in the silver scramble will tag the back of that. But in saying that, I think it's those top 6 cars. I think there's a random draw will be conducted to determine the starting position. So again, there's a couple of things on this. I was actually talking about my brother about this today, but to have this random draw kind of seems a little bit unfair to go, well, maybe if you've dominated your qualifying night, you're at top points by a mile, and then you have to start out a 6 in the scramble. Again, it's 10 laps. As we know, the track might go away at Warrnambool. I'm not 100% confident that it's a fair thing to have to start out a 6 if you've been the dominant car. But at the same time, looks like we've got a 40-lap feature for the Classic A-Main, and if you can't get from 6th to 1st, then that's, I guess, how some people look at it. But if you look at last year's Classic, like we filmed that Lockie McHugh one, it was between him and James McFadden, and of course they were the 2 fastest cars, but there was not much passing at all in the Classic feature. So to be top points and possibly have to start out a 6 in the scramble, not move forward because of maybe track conditions, or just have a setback is kind of a rough deal, I think. But overall, I think it's a good thing that they're actually doing something to the format. The other thing I wanted to mention was it just seems like we are forever having these complicated formats, and I guess this is the first time I've read it. Someone's not happy about the format from the comments. Let us know what you think anyway. But I just really feel like we have these complicated formats that when Americans come here, or if you travel from the other side of the country, or from first time there, you got to wrap your head around this format. And I know as a driver, you honestly do not know the formats half the time, and that's not exaggerating at all. I'm being 100% honest. Take your hat off, please. I want to see your head. No, you don't. I've got a receding hairline, so we'll move on. Keep commenting, guys. I am reading comments as I go along here, but we'll have more questions at the end. You don't know the format half the time. I've heard so many drivers say that, hey, I don't even understand it. I'll just start wherever I start. And it's pretty crazy when you think about it. But that's probably one major thing is I just wish we had simple formats. And I guess that's a national thing too, is I wish you could go to the racetrack, go to a sprint car race and just know the format. Just have the one format. Honestly, my honest opinion is just run the outlaw format. Someone thought it was funny. But just run the outlaw format. Go hot laps, go qualifying, have a heat, line them straight up, have a dash, whatever, and have your CBA, and let's get done with it. I really feel like that's the simplest format. And if you can go, and that's the thing is our sport is so segmented that you've got tracks, you've got promoters, you've got all this stuff happening that is so segmented, doing their only thing. Someone likes the outlaw format. Everyone is doing their own thing, and it's like there's no consistency within our sport. And that's why a national series, another reason is national series is so important, is because we need to be have a consistent product that we are taking to fans. There are almost 30 million people in Australia, majority who don't know what sprint car racing is, and we got an opportunity to put it on TV. We need a consistent format, a consistent product that we're taking to the fans. And I just really feel like, man, the first two promoters who can go, hey, let's do the outlaw format, or something like that, whatever. The Australian format, call it the Australian format. Maybe it's a variation of the outlaw format, something like that. And let's keep it consistent. Let's all have an agreement that we can go racing with this same format. I know that's why we've got clubs and all that sort of stuff, and they have AGMs and all that bullcrap. But at the end of the day, they don't do it in America, and they usually run just a consistent format. And again, it'll be a massive step for our sport if we can at least just put the format, be consistent with it. But anyway, I'm going on a bit of a rant, so I'm getting a bit off topic. But yeah, the classic format, I'm glad they're doing something. I'm glad they're changing it up. It's good for Michael Parry to put his stamp on things, but is it the perfect format? Maybe it needs a bit of smoothing over time, but we'll see what happens. All right, next up, which I've already put the graphic up, is Archerfield closure. Now, I'm going to bring up my notes here. The Archerfield closure is a massive thing. I've never been a major fan of Archerfield. I'm just going to say that. I know some people don't like it either, but it's run down, really, is what it is over the years. And it's been closing for a long time. Even before I started racing sprint cars, I'm sure I was reading articles that, it's Archerfield's last year, possibly, or it's closing soon. So, now it's actually going to close. They've announced it. They've got in the graphic just there that they're actually going to close it. I think June 3 was their last show. There's no chance in hell that I'm going to read any of that, not while we're live anyway. And then I wrote a post about it. Again, got a massive reaction from you guys about the format. Format. Sure, it's too late. But yeah, a massive reaction about the track closing. And, I really think it's a big deal. Okay, so it's about half an hour from Brisbane. Brisbane is Australia's third biggest city behind Sydney and Melbourne. The Gold Coast, which is another city, is just over an hour away with 600,000 people. Combined, Brisbane and the Gold Coast alone have almost 3 million people. I think Melbourne and Sydney have got around 4.5 plus. But it is all up. Brisbane on its own is Australia's third biggest city. For comparison, Perth has not even 2 million people. So, Brisbane, huge city that we need a metropolitan track, or we don't want to lose. It couldn't be much more similar than losing Parramatta. Parramatta, half an hour from the CBD in Sydney. Archerfield, half an hour from basically Brisbane Airport. And to lose a racetrack in general sucks. And a lot of great races there. Say what you want. Again, we're already opinionated about the promotion or the facilities there. But at the end of the day, Brisbane has been a staple in major sprint car shows over the years. They had this past season's Australian sprint car title where Marcus Dumsney won. Great race, awesome racing. I had a blast there. We made a video on that if you want to go check it out. A couple of videos. To just lose Brisbane overall is a big deal. At the end of the day, if you want to go racing in Queensland now, the major track is Toowoomba. I love Toowoomba. To me, it's the best track racing in Australia, even though it's an egg shape. But like someone's just commented there, Perth Motorplex, 30 minutes from the city. I think it's around that anyway. But yeah, it's a major, major deal to lose the Speedway. And one thing that they made a note of in their post, Archerfield Speedway, was hopefully the government can provide us with a track just like they did with in Sydney. And at the end of the day, from what I understand is Archerfield's land was privately owned. It wasn't compulsorily acquired by the government. So at the end of the day, it was just some guy sold his Speedway, and or I think it's Ron Wanless who owned the Speedway. I shouldn't say some guy, but sold the Speedway, and now we've got no more Speedway in Brisbane. It's been closing for a long time. Like Collins just commented, T-Bar is 2 hours away, 2 hours from Brisbane. That's not a metropolitan track. I love Toowoomba. It's great racing. I think it's going to have awesome racing when we get there in a couple of weeks' time for their biggest sprint car show ever. But it's not half an hour from the CBD. Eastern Creek is another 15 minutes up the road from Parramatta, where Valvoline Raceway was west. So 15 minutes isn't a big deal, although it feels like, being someone from Sydney, it feels like that we are really moving our sport slowly out west. Not the end of the world. I wish it was a successful speedway, but it's not at this stage. And now there is, like they said in their post, there is no replacement for this for Archerfield. So the fact that we're losing a track in a metropolitan area in Australia's third major city, I feel like it probably hasn't been as big of news as losing Valvoline Raceway was. So I hate it. If the promoters at Archerfield are already saying, hey, we're I wish they'd build another track, and hopefully that they can do that, the government can do that, well then I think that goes to show you that there's no plans for a speedway to come to Brisbane anytime soon, somewhere else anyway. So that's pretty much it on those topics. If you guys have some questions, we can go through whatever you've got. We can talk about the Sydney track, we can problems, we can talk about our calendar, which races you guys think are the ones that we should get to in the future. Someone just mentioned something about the Chili Bowl. We're definitely not going to the Chili Bowl. This is Sprint Car Hub, not Midget Hub. I get a lot of comments and questions about that. When are you going to do a video on this or that? And it's like, it's sprint cars. I like sprint cars. They keep me busy. New merchandise, please, if you can, support it. Head over to sprintcarhub.com. I've got some questions, looks like rolling through, so make sure you get your questions in. The TV and streaming situation, you got the helmet impact indicator stuff, the Warrnambool track troubles, the format changes for the Classic, and now obviously Archerfield as well. So if you've got any questions, let me read them, and let's go for it. So someone said more. We've got over 340 viewers, I think that is. So need to have sprint cars a demonstration sport for the Brisbane Olympics. Oh, we've been on for over an hour. Holy crap. I didn't think it would take that long. All right. What else we got here? What does the helmet impact indicator do? That's a really good question. Okay, so if I change the graphic, let's go back to the helmet impact indicator. Okay, so see... Oh God, there's my hands going away. Okay, so see the little, that's red powder in the corners. They're held back by a ball. The powder's held back by a ball, and in between the ball is a spring. Now, the impact indicators, from what Mark Richards told me, is there's different colors for different ratings. I think this one's rated for about 80 G. Now, if you're in an impact that's, I guess, exceeds 80 G or more, it goes over 80 G, the spring will dislodge, the balls will move out of place, and the powder will basically move over the surface of the indicator, and you can see that, hey, this has been in an impact of over 80 G. Now, I have heard a lot of things about people dropping helmets on the ground or falling off the car as they're getting ready, and they've gone off. How legit they are, I don't know. I really don't know. I've never used one. I never had to use one when I was racing. But, is it the best thing we can come up with? I don't know. We spoke about it in the video with Mark Richards back in July, that there are FIA-approved devices already that aren't for the driver. They're for they go in the vehicle. that FIA approved. USAC's using them. They're all over the world getting used. They've got QR codes where you can scan them, get the information. When the driver's knocked out, you can at least scan it and find out. You don't just have powder telling you, hey, this one's been in a big crash. So that's my opinion. You can already tell what my opinion is on that. And I don't hide from my opinion, but yeah, that's definitely something that we need to talk about. But a good question, asking what those impact indicators are. Got a few people already buying merchandise on the website, so thank you very much for supporting the shirts and getting the kid shirts as well that we've got there. I really appreciate you guys supporting the Sprint Car Hub. I really can only do this sort of stuff if you guys get yourself some merchandise from Sprint Car Hub. So it does mean a lot that we're making progress there. So thank you very much. It's cool to go to all the racetracks that we've gone to. We've been in Victoria, Queensland. We're going to head to South Australia soon. We've obviously been here in Sydney. We've been to WA. We've been to Darwin. I've been to the States and seen Sprint Car Hub merchandise, which is a bit of a trip for me. A bit of a trip out. So thank you everyone that does support us by buying the merchandise online. At the end of the day, I don't want to charge really for content, like a Patreon sort of thing. At the end of the day, I want you guys to be walking around and get yourself something for the money that you spend rather than just spending money for content. But let's have a look. Will you be coming to the Perth Motorplex more this season or next season? We're definitely going to be there for the Australian Sprint Car Championship in February, which I think is the second weekend, and then the next weekend we're going to be there for the Cricky Boys Shootout. Originally I thought that was still at Bunbury. I think it's swapped around the last couple of years, so definitely excited to go back to Perth. Honestly, I've been there less than 24 hours when we went there and did the video with the Crickies in, was it February or March, and I love that place, and I'm just looking forward to the weather, the good racing. The Australian Sprint Car Championship, to me personally, is the biggest race of the year. You get to put a number one on your car, and there's no way that I was going to miss that and not be there. And we're flying back home, and then we're going to be back the next week to film the Cricky Boys Shootout, which has always been an event that I wanted, since doing this, that I've wanted to film. So, all right. How much would it cost to drive for 1 year for a top team? Honestly, that really depends, on so much. What your gear is, I don't know how to really answer that. That's a big question, to be honest. Will you become Perth? Thanks for the info. Thank you. Do you like big half-mile tracks or bull rings? Kwinana and Toowoomba are two very good examples of each. I don't think Kwinana's a half-mile. Toowoomba is very odd as well. It's actually, it's reasonably small, but I've never raced on a half mile. I did race on a 3/8. I think that was in California at Peter Murphy's, or it's his now, but the Hanford Keller Auto Speedway. I thought it was pretty cool. It was a bit of a D shape, that place, but anything that produces good racing, I guess, at the end of the day, you just want to watch or be racing on something that you can actually race on. And that's a big thing for a lot of drivers and teams for turning up to races. You don't want to go race at these country tracks that are too small because you can't race. If it's a good racetrack and it's good surface, I guarantee you teams and drivers will go there. But when the money's probably not great already and the racing's not ideal, then you're just like, why would we turn up? So at the end of the day, as long as it's got some banking to it, decent size, decent width, there's drivers will go there. What do you miss most about driving? I think you mean driving a sprint car. What do I miss most about driving a sprint car? I don't know. For me personally, driving a sprint car was just about, I kind of had that purpose of doing that. It's what kind of why I started Sprint Car Hub was I felt like I was a little bit lost to contribute or do something within the sport of sprint car racing. Obviously, I still love sprint car racing. And yeah, that's what I really miss, to be honest, is having something to work towards each week. And that's why I love doing this. I'm not going as fast and having as much fun, but I still love doing Sprint Car Hub. So that's probably what I miss the most. But this isn't, I guess, really about me. I appreciate you asking. Consistency at tracks is very important. How are you convinced Gary Brazier that he needs to start driving again? I think he is. He's going to race. I spoke to him the other day. I think he said he was going to race maybe the New South Wales title, if that's going to run at Eastern Creek. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he does need to race. And I wish he was racing more often, but I do love that also he's had a great, successful career, and now you're seeing him support Geordie, his son, and him have some decent runs lately. I feel, are you coming to Eastern Creek for the next event? If there is a next event, when that is, I'd love to be there. To be perfectly honest, they haven't been 100% welcoming, not all of the promotional side to having me there. I love making videos, and like I said, our last video with Bohard Racing, I said at the start of this video, has over 58,000 views, and I feel like that's a pretty good promotion for their track. Unfortunately, I'm try to be as unbiased as possible, and maybe they don't agree with that 100%, but I think when they do something great, let's talk about it. When they do something that's not awesome, let's bring it and make it and have it as a topic for discussion. But at the end of the day, I just want to support sprint car racing. To have Eastern Creek 15 minutes from my house, I want to be there and make videos and provide content from you guys. I get a lot of questions and comments and messages from you guys privately or whatever, saying, hey, how come you haven't been filming at Eastern Creek? And at the end of the day, we have a commitment to be with Claperview at Toowoomba, and I love doing that. But I'd also like to be at Eastern Creek and be at racetracks every weekend. But unfortunately, that's not the situation. But hopefully we can just get back to racing at Eastern Creek and they can sort out their troubles. Who do you think TKR is? That's the keyboard racer. Yeah, I actually don't know. And I hate to say that. That annoys the crap out of me. But I don't know who that is. Wow, there's a lot of orders coming through on the sprintcarhub.com. So thank you very much, everyone who's supporting sprintcarhub.com. Get yourself a shirt, whatever we've got. There's stubby holders, there's stickers, there's some of my old merchandise, which I'll probably never ever get made again. That still sells, which is awesome to see people out there with merchandise. So thank you. That is the one way that I really appreciate you guys supporting us, is whether it's right now or after the stream. We'll probably be on here for another, let's make it 15-20 minutes. I love making content for you guys, but a lot of this stuff is quite expensive. I had a comment or a message the other day of someone asking, how do you, what gear do you use and what do you take to the racetrack? And honestly, I'd love to do a video on that. I just bought a new drone to make better content for you guys. I crashed it at Darwin. I don't want to talk about it. I'm fine. It's okay. I bought a couple new GoPros, the latest GoPros. So now I got 4 decent GoPros. I got new GoPro mounts. Anyone watching this who makes GoPro videos, the mount is the most important thing. I'm going to save you guys the time that it took me to realize how important a good mount is. There's a couple of mounts. I just bought MSP mounts from the States. I got 2 of them, and I also got some mounts. There's some decent ones off Amazon. Get good GoPro mounts. So I got new GoPros, I got a new drone. I bought a new lens. I got a new tripod that we're going to make a lot more content on. I edit as fast as I can. We're constantly, Matt and I, who does the videos for me, are constantly talking about how can we improve our videos and how can we make better content. And that's a big thing for us. And I've invested over the last little while to buy better gear to do just that. So that's probably one good thing. Sorry I got here late. Please keep up the awesome work. Love your content. Thank you very much, Anthony. Do you think the entry fees for the public are fair? They are what they are. Everything's going up. We went to Luna Park today with my family and things were not cheap. And I think I paid $27 for a burger, chips, and a Gatorade. And stuff's not cheap, so get used to it. I honestly don't know how much it is to get into a racetrack most of the time. Any suggestions for filming YouTube stuff at the track? I've been helping my mate film his races at the Motorplex, and I want to know if you have any tips. Honestly, I'm not the guy to talk about as far as how to film. I'd love to help you guys out, and I love that other people making content, but I know nothing about cameras. It's all in the editing that I try and stitch things together and make it look decent. I spend over 20 hours to make a video. If we film on a Saturday night, it's taking me until I'm rushing it to get it done by Wednesday with all my other commitments to make it work. That's why when we do videos that are on successive nights of racing, they're a little bit I'm not sure what the best word is, but a little bit quicker the way we edit it, and I try to make them informative. But yeah, it is a difficult thing to do. But yeah, get decent GoPro mounts, get a decent camera that you can afford. I never thought I'd want a drone, and now I love using the drone for 10 minutes and then putting it away. Yeah, should use the clay from Southern 500. I've had a few people mention something like that for Warrnambool. Can you please sum up the classic format changes? Basically, they've gotten rid of the heat races on the final night, and now you've got a bronze, silver, and gold shootout. That's the best way I can sum that up. That's for the top 18 cars, from what I remember them saying. Who are your top 3 picks for the Classic? That's from Mad Matt. Thanks for watching, mate. You've always been a really big supporter, not only of the channel, but the merchandise and stuff like that. Honestly, I think Jock Goodyear, Lockie McHugh, the defending winner, and the other guy that's been fast is Jamie Veal. I know they're all Aussies. I know they seem like simple picks, but I was talking with my brother about this the other day, and let me know if you guys think it would be good to have maybe my brother come in. He's probably the best person that I talk to about racing all the time, but maybe let me know if you want me to do a video with him. But we were talking the other day, and a guy like Brad Sweet, best driver in the world right now. The guy, it's like he's got eyes in the back of his head, the way he defends and blocks. He carries car speed, he can qualify, he can drive the shit out of it. I've beat him on the racetrack once, you know, and then the other 9 times out of 10, he's lapping me. The guy is fast. The guy knows what he's doing, obviously. But I just feel like him coming to Australia and jumping in a car at Avalon and then racing at the Classic for the first time in that car is just, anyone doing that it's not a good thing. You need consistency. Someone like James McFadden, who could have gone with, maybe stuck with Monty and had Buzzy on his crew, finished second last year. He's been a dominant car. Other than maybe Lockie McHugh, I really feel like maybe that's an opportunity that they've lost because he's in a different car. You've got guys who haven't been out here for a while, like Corey Lyson, and Brock Zierfoss hasn't done many. I don't know if he has raced at the Classic, at least not consistently for the last few years. But those, you look at Jock Goodyear, he's got a guy on his crew, Hayden, that I think worked with Paul Silver and Kyle Larson. Man, they tell me that guy is so comfortable in the car right now. Jamie Veal, as much as, I don't really have much to do with him, he is super fast, and you can't deny that guy knows how to drive a race car. And I really feel like after a couple of years where maybe he wasn't at his best from what he was maybe around 2014, 2015, I think he's doing a great job right now. Another question, we should probably move on from that. Is that a lockdown design hat? No, it's not. Again, here's my head. But it is a Sprint Car Hub hat. So these are fully custom hats that this isn't their final product, but that'll be available soon. We've got these in grey and we're going to have them in blue, and I'm really excited about having them. Probably just wanted me to take my hat off. Excited to have them for sale soon. Honestly, I'm not just saying it, these aren't launching right now, but these I've tried a flex fit on, and then these, and I'm like, I actually can't believe how comfortable they are. And anyone I've shown says, wow, they're actually really, really comfortable. So I'm really excited to have them. I just lost all the comments that I was just reading. Top 3 picks. Who do you think will be contenders for the Australian title? Again, probably those same guys, but another one that comes to mind is probably Matt Eagle, who's over there right now doing a great job. So don't be surprised. And the other thing too is I saw comments the other day, I think it was on one of our posts, that a guy said, I don't expect much from the WA guys. And I thought, I don't think those guys are crappy at all. Those guys know how to drive race cars. You got Dane Kingshot, you got Inglis, Kendrick, Priolos, Mayolos, whatever, Olos, all those guys over there who know how to drive race cars. Callum Williamson, who's glued to the wall, is one to watch. We've got some more sales here. Thank you very much, Scott, for supporting Sprint Car Hub from the sprintcarhub.com. Their orders are coming through now, more and more. So thank you very much, everyone that's watching it. I think we've got over 318 of you guys. So yeah, definitely support Sprinker Hub if you can. It helps me out a lot. We'll probably spend another 10 minutes here. We'll try and be really quick. What time is it? Jeez, 8:15. All right. Can you go to Team Shop and do tech talk on a car? I want to do all that. Trust me, I've got a million ideas. I have people that come to me all the time with ideas of what to do. Don't worry, that's a massive thing for me. What percentage of teams have their own GoPros now, do you think? Not enough. Okay, so this is another thing that I think you'll find in time, that as much as these helmet impact indicators are mandatory, I would love to see GoPros mandatory on race cars. Again, they get covered in shit almost instantly sometimes. A lot of our footage is just black. I have to go through, after a race night, I might have 7-8 hours of footage of racing overall between our main camera, our backup camera, our 2 GoPros, our drone, and anything else. And now that we have the deal with Clay-Per-View, they provide us with a lot of footage that helps us to tell the story and make better videos. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed that. But there's so much footage for me to go through, and I would love for teams to have access to that stuff. Again, it's all about editing it and using it. You don't have to edit it all, but just content in general. That's why I've now invested in more GoPros or onboard cameras to just provide content for you guys. You know, there's so much out there that I want to bring to light that no one else is doing. You're a legend. That's probably the best point I've read so far. Can we get the kids Sprinter light shirts for adults? A few people have asked that, and no. They're a kid's design, but I really appreciate that you guys like them. I thought it was, I don't want to sound bad, but maybe like I guess a childish sort of thing. But it's a kid shirt, and I've got a lot that I've invested in to make them work. And we have so many of you guys subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. If you're trying to comment, you can't comment. Because you're not subscribed, if that's the case. So make sure you subscribe and join the chat with us. But we have so many of you that their kids watch, and I feel like not many drivers have something for just kids, and I wanted to provide something just for kids. So we've now got from 2 to 3 all the way to 12 to 13 years old have those shirts. So, but yes, I had even my sister, get me a shirt that I can wear. And I was like, well, fit in one of them. Farrell video was the best. Honestly, I want to read all these comments and questions. But getting on that, man, I'm glad someone brought up the Farrell video, because who was that? Thank you, David. The Farrell video was probably the most deep and meaningful video that I've ever done. And I actually had a lot of conversation with Ryan away from the camera, which we always do with drivers and teams at the racetrack. But to talk with Ryan and understand what he's going through, and to do that, the video is good. And Ryan made that video. As much as you probably think it was the best video that we've done, Ryan is the one that made that video what it was, not me. And the way he's so honest about his struggles with what he's gone through in the past, and trying to reach the top of sprint car racing again, I walked away from that thinking, man, I actually loved making content that night, because I just want to provide that all for you guys. There's a lot there to take in. So if you haven't watched the Ryan Farrell video, which we filmed in Darwin in August after our American trip, please check that out. Could you do a video on track volunteers, as I think they are heart and soul of speedways? They are, 100%, and that's on my list. The problem for me is I can only make one video a night, and as much as I want to make all this content, it doesn't always mean that I can pump it out as quick as what I want to do it. So that's a problem there. My dark horse for the Classic is Ryan Newton. Fast kid. I'm not saying he can't win it, but it takes a lot of smarts. And the next guy commented Brad Sweet, and when you got Brad Sweet up against someone like Ryan Newton, just goes to show you the different levels of experience they have. Brad Sweet is a really nice guy to chat with. Yeah, he is. They're all nice. You just got to get them in the right moment, I guess. I don't like people that bag out people because they got them at a bad moment. Everyone gets moody and things like that, but they're all good guys. You should do a video on your favourite tracks from your least favourite tracks in Australia and rank them. That's, again, another one I've had written down, my top 5 favorite tracks, and I think it would be something you guys want to watch, but it all takes time to edit it all. Is there any chance of getting the Shaheen family? Are they the people from the Bend Motorsport Park? Hey, I'd heard about them building a speedway eventually, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. All right, more orders. Thank you, Matt Muir. Thank you very much for supporting the... every now and then I pay attention to who's buying stuff, but thank you very much. I pack all the orders myself, by the way. I've packed every single order myself. Even when we go to the Classic Fan Day, I'll be the one there with Matt to sell you guys that stuff. So thank you very much for supporting it. And I see all the names come through. Everyone who buys merchandise, I see who you are, and I'm the one contacting you guys to make sure you get your gear. So thank you very much. So the best driver. Who do you think the best driver and crew chief combo would be? Consistently, I'd say Lockie McHugh and Nick Speed, maybe Jamie Veal and Glenno Inglis now. More orders coming through. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. I really do. I need to concentrate here. And then up and comers again, like Jock Goodyear and Hayden, who's just come back from the States, and the progress that they're making. When you're comfortable in a race car, there's nothing like that. Like it's endless what you feel like you can do. So to be comfortable in a race car is so important, and have a crew chief that's making you comfortable is so key. What is your favorite race that you watched, saw, driven? I feel like if I say driven, that would downplay some of the stuff that I've watched. Okay, actually, I have an answer for this. My favorite race that I ever saw, I hope Brooke Tatnall watches this or hears about this, because it was the 2011 or when did Warrnambool host the Australian Sprint Car title? It wasn't the one I raced in. I raced in one where I finished 11th and Brooke ran second to Kerry. It was the one before that. I think it was around 2011, I'm pretty sure. But Brooke Tatnall goes from, I want to say, like 6th to 1st within a few laps, and just absolutely dominates that race. Like, I mean, makes them all look stupid. And I've never seen something more demoralizing live. And if I had to watch that a race again, I would love to watch Brooke and concentrate on him and watch that race and see how he does it. I mean, it's kind of simple. He's fast. He went for it at the start and led and didn't lose. But just it sounds simple, but to have that thought process and make those things happen, I definitely, I'm glad you asked that question, because it's something I want to watch again. Love the content. Are you printing any merchandise with the #1 Sprint Car Hub logo on your webpage banner? I actually have some merchandise where I got a sample of that made. Let me know if you guys would like something like that, because I have a hoodie that I got made. Thanks for asking that, Owen. Wow, so many orders coming through. Thank you very much. Sitting here, I've been on for an hour and a half now, and the money we spend to travel and make content, everyone thinks, oh, you're just going to a race and it's a holiday. It's really not. The money we spend on gear, the research I do, the hours I spend every day trying to make all this work. Even just setting this up, I was up to 2 a.m. last night to try and make this work. So it's a massive relief to see that you guys like it and support it by supporting sprintcarhub.com and get yourself merchandise. I get so many offers to pay to sponsor me and stuff like that right now. I just want you to enjoy wearing Sprint Car Hub merchandise. I don't get crap made. I don't like wearing crap merchandise. So I hope you guys enjoy what we have on the website. The jackets. I love the jackets that we have. I've never seen anyone do jackets like we have on sprintcarhub.com. As you know, the Classic gets pretty cold at night. Make sure you we've only got a limited number of them too, so grab yourself a Sprint Car Hub jacket. And you know what, if they sell out at the Classic ahead of winter, then bad luck. But thank you. Gold, silver, bronze on final night of Classic is crap. Well, that's your opinion. I like that they're trying something at the end of the day. I can't say I love it, but I love that they're trying something. Callum Williamson is heading over east for the Classic. I think that's what you're saying. I hope he is. Man, he's a gasser. I've never seen someone run so close to the wall before. Oh my God, the orders are coming through. Thank you very much. I really, really do appreciate that. Will you and Matthew be at the Classic this year? Of course. We wouldn't miss it. Thumbs up helps this channel. Yes. If you can give us a thumbs up, like, comment, whatever, share it. Share it on whatever you can. That helps a lot. When you're in Toowoomba, you're more than welcome at my house for breakfast. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate that. Everyone at Toowoomba, and I'm not just saying this for any other reason than I love traveling, but I've always felt really welcome when we go to Toowoomba. And I guess it's a small country town, so everyone's a bit more friendly just in those areas in general. I'm from the ECS Cone and Line guy. I'm happy to do a video with you. Thank you, mate. Are you coming down to Avalon? I'm not going to be at the President's Cup this year. Love the work. Thank you, Nate. I think you've bought merchandise before, Nate, so thank you very much. Again, I see everyone's orders that come through, so thank you very much. Courtney and Eliason are ripping the tracks up in the West and will be hot at the Classic, 100%. That's one person I haven't spoken about is Tyler Courtney with Dylan Buswell as crew chief. With the Monty car, man, those guys are going to be fast. I can't wait to see what he does at the Classic. Again, we just hope that the surface is what we want it to be. I'll be buying one of everything at the Classic. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate that. If we've still got one of everything, then you can get one of everything. But there's no guarantee with the way stuff's selling right now. So it's going to be awesome to see everyone at tracks, not just at the Classic, but beforehand and afterwards, supporting Sprint Car Hub. I love seeing you guys. And I really want to, this year we want to make a point to get photos with everyone. Lines won in 2011. No, I was talking about the Australian Sprint Car Championship, not the Classic in 2011. I'm sure Brooke won whatever year the Warrnambool hosted the Australian Sprint Car Championship. Nice video. This is the best YouTube channel. Cheers for the awesome content. Keep it up. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that. I'll take the hoodie. There's only one, and I've worn it. And the reason why there's only one is I wasn't happy with the quality of it, so I made sure that that we're working on improving them. I get a lot of messages about, hey, you haven't made a video in a couple of weeks. I'm constantly working on stuff, especially the merchandise, and that's why this stuff, it has to be quality for you guys. So anything that we've got made already is the quality that I like. Anything that's coming is going to be just as good. So thank you. Watched a video. Campbell Tobel fight at Parramatta. Yeah, you got to watch that fight. That's when I was probably 18 or 19. More orders coming through. Thank you, Marty Mitchell from up in Queensland. We develop relationships with fans because we travel so much now, and I try to reply to comments on YouTube like we're reading out now, and Marty's one of those guys that I enjoy seeing when we do. We can't always chat with everyone for very long, but I love chatting with everyone when we do get the chance. But yeah, watch the fight video if you want at Parramatta. It's not much of a fight. Still keep my helmet on if you want to talk about it. I wore my Sprint Car Polo to a restaurant on the Gold Coast recently. Thank you. That's the idea of the polo. Tell me any polo, Sprint Car racing polo that you can wear out or to a golf event or feel formal in a way, and this just doesn't exist, and that's why I got the polos made. I love wearing my polo when we're on pay-per-view and need to present well in those sort of situations. So all the best next few months, Toby and Matt. You have your work cut out for you. Yes, we do. All right, so we're going to wrap this up in a few minutes. So if you've got any last questions, then we'll wrap it up. Are there any 1 mile tracks or close to it in Australia for sprint cars? Not that I know of, not dirt tracks. And I was only talking with my brother the other day about Bacchus Marsh, and he's like, it's huge. And I'm like, man, I wish there was racing still there. I know it's not maybe a mile, but I also get to hear about Wagga. There was never racing there when I was racing, but man, I'd love to see racing at Wagga again. More audience coming through. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. It does mean a lot. Hey mate, Sprint Car 50 lapper at Western Spring Speedway. I want to be there. I'd love to be in New Zealand. I make a lot of contact with New Zealanders. I get along really well with Michael Pickens. I'd love to do a video with him. I'd love to go to Western Springs. I went there as a kid when my dad raced midgets. I'd love to go back to New Zealand. It's something we've spoken about. It's something that we put on our calendar, but it's just, honestly, right now, it's just not something that we can fit in over the next couple of months, I guess. What else? Matt Eagle was fire over here. I have no doubt he is. We did a video with him in Darwin, and man, that guy's a gasser. And I really, hey, don't be surprised if he's good come Australian Sprint Car Championship time at Perth Motorplex. I can't wait for that race. I really can't. Collab with TKR? Yeah, well, hit me up. Let's do it. Okay, yeah, he told Lindsay he could have, but I'm winning the title. Righto, fair enough. I only just joined you going to Toowoomba the 20th. Yes, we're going to be there for the Red Hot Summer Shootout. Have you been raced at Lismore? I think I have been to Lismore. I've never raced there. Great work, Toby. Toby, you took some time to chat at ECS. You liked my T-shirt, Volusia Speedway. Thank you, Chris. I think I do remember you, actually. Thanks for the support, mate. Thanks, Toby. That's from Marty. I love that you support me, mate. I really do appreciate it. Will you be at the last ever race at Archerfield? All I can say is I'd love to be there. Whether we are there or not, I don't know. But we're going to be... I'm going to ask the question, hey, is it alright if I come and film? Whether they want me to or not, I don't know. So, looks like that's... what's that? Top chat. Let's go back to live chat. Okay. What have we got? All right, so looks like that's pretty much... Oh, we got another question now. Getting some more coming through. Hey, Toby, you coming down to Vic for any races leading up to the Classic? No, unfortunately. Thank you, Owen. We just had another order come through. They're coming through, and I'm seeing him every now and then. So thank you. Races leading up to the Classic. We're going to Mount Gambier for the King's Challenge. We didn't go there last year. I was busy editing the video for Avalon, and that'll be something that I don't want to miss. Even though the lights went out last year, we're waiting to hear back from the people at Mount Gambier or whether or not that they want us there to film. Great numbers for Lismore. Great to see. Yeah, I hope Lismore's a success. And I'd love to see that be a staple in drivers working their way down from Queensland down into New South Wales as they head south for the Classic. I'd love to see Lismore become a staple for a lot of those drivers, and I'm sure it will. I know Kim and Mick Sawyer, who are the promoters at Lismore now, making a big effort. They rang me and wanted to have me there, but unfortunately we're not going to make it, and I hate that, but I hope it's a success. All right, we're going to wrap this up. Let's give this a few more minutes. What else? Is Robbie driving the Pride 14 at the Classic or at all? I haven't seen, actually. I saw people talking about that. I would assume he would be in that car with Glenn Beaton on the spanners, but and he's won it before, and so has Glenn, but hopefully they can work something out. Wagga Wagga has a Moto X track. Yeah, I've seen that. I think that's temporary, I thought. Anyway, I know they had an event there recently. Did you see what happened at Willowbank yesterday? We spoke about that at the start of the stream. Very sad. Do you have to have permission from the tracks to use footage of drivers' cars? No, not necessarily. I think we've built up the reputation too. I think our sport is a bit slow in realizing what we're doing. Originally, I had to, and I still do, communicate with the promoters and the track owners and things like that to say, hey, are we right to do what we're doing? And that's going to always be like that. But some of them really embrace it. Some of them are very skeptical and don't really like it, to be honest. But it's definitely something that I make sure I go about the right way, or try to anyway. I know it's not sprint cars, but Tom Payat from the West just won the SA and Vic Speed Car titles. Okay, congrats. Discount code for your merch. There is a discount code of FIRST10, FIRST10, for your first order only. You'll only be able to use it for your first order. So if you want 10% off merchandise, use code FIRST10. That means signing up to our subscriber. We've got over like 2,000 people now for our newsletter that get our whatever we send out in our newsletter, and that is the best way. So make sure you use them, make the most of it, buy as much as you want, get 10% off all of that, and that'll be the first time and only time you'll get to use that code. Do you think Eastern Creek will last? I think we'll have racing there again, but I just feel like they have a lot to go through. We spoke about it earlier on in the stream. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. I really appreciate everyone joining us. We've gone for an hour and 40 minutes almost, and it means a lot that you guys would watch this stream. There's over 250 people still watching. If you can, support us by jumping on to sprintcarhub.com, get yourself some merchandise, and we'll do this stuff more often. What is the long-term plan for Sprint Car Hub? That's from my brother Roddy. Honestly, I always thought that I needed to have this worked out 100%, but I really don't feel that way anymore. I feel like the idea is that we just keep making content and growing the channel. I want the merchandise stuff. I want you people to go to the racetrack and love what you wear and take to the racetrack, and I feel like we can provide that. I want to provide content for you guys to learn about it. When you guys come up with video ideas and stuff like that, to me, there are endless things that I can do for videos. I have a huge list of making more contacts with people. We're traveling around more, and that really is what the goal is for me, is to keep growing that. Do I want to get into some sort of a subscription service where we can do private sort of content that you guys pay for and we go more in depth about? That sounded a little bit wrong, but it wasn't. But yeah, that sort of stuff. I don't know 100%, but I'm not worried about that at all. All I know is I want to talk about sprint car racing. So anyone who can support us and help us get there, again, I'm not going to ask for any support. Again, I get people coming wanting to sponsor the channel and things like that, but what's really important is you guys turn on Sprint Car Hub and enjoy the content. That's first and foremost what I've worked on over the last year or two. So everyone's saying nice stream, thank you. I put in a lot of effort to have this green screen, the graphics, the overlays, all that sort of stuff. Give me a thumbs up if you want me to do that sort of stuff again, and I'll have that stuff. Maybe we'll do a preview of the Red Hot Summer Shootout, or we'll do a preview of the Classic or a review of that stuff. The title, I definitely want to do something for that. We'll see what comes up, but I've got, either way, I just want to make content that you guys really enjoy. Should do this every Sunday, be unreal. I think it would be good, but I think it'd also get worn out. So I like that we're doing this and we got so many viewers that we can, make it a bit unique. So thanks for all the thumbs up, everyone. Thank you for the live stream. I really appreciate that everyone liked this. It is almost 20 to 9, and I'm so glad that this has been a success for a Sunday night. So hope you guys enjoy talking about sprint car racing. I just want to provide stuff that you guys like watching every time that you see Sprint Car Hub. I want you guys to know that it's not going to be iffy of, oh, is it going to be a good video? Is it going to be bad? Am I going to enjoy it? Whatever we do, I want you guys to enjoy it and support sprint car racing as a whole, and support me if you can by buying yourself some Sprint Car Hub merchandise. I know I've plugged it enough there. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for the thumbs up. Enjoy your night, and I'll see you guys with a video very shortly, hoping to film with Cam Waters. I got an interview with him soon, maybe someone else within the industry about the helmet impact indicators, and then at the very least we're going to be with do a stream once a month. I think that's what probably is going to be best, but we're in such a busy period right now that it makes sense to do them probably more often even. But we'll have those videos with Cam and someone else maybe, and then we'll be at Toowoomba for the Red Hot Summer Shootout. I can't wait for that event, and then we head south. So can't wait for a big month of sprint car racing, and I'll chat to you guys soon. Thank you very much.